Imagine if you could send money across the globe in minutes without the need for banks and with complete and total privacy. That is what Bitcoin offers, a revolutionary form of digital money. But how does Bitcoin actually work? Today we're breaking down Bitcoin step by step. By the end of this video today, you will understand the basics of Bitcoin, the technology behind it, and how it's changing the world and the future of finance. Let's dive on in. What's up everyone, I'm Parker Ray, your guide for all things crypto. This is another video in my Zero to Hero crypto series. And buckle up ladies and gentlemen, because today we're going deep into Bitcoin. We're going into how it works, what makes Bitcoin so valuable, and why it is such a big deal in this new world of digital money. Whether you're brand new to crypto, just getting started for the first time, or you just want to learn and understand Bitcoin a little bit better, this guide will give you the knowledge that you need. So guys, get comfortable and let's get right into it. So let's start with the basics. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency, often called a cryptocurrency, that was invented in 2009 by a mysterious person or group known as Satoshi Nakamoto. The goal was to create a new kind of money that didn't rely on any banks or governments. Instead, it relies on something that cannot be corrupted by people in positions of power. Instead, it relies on code, mathematics, and our new favorite technology, the blockchain. So you want to think of Bitcoin as this crossover between digital cash and digital gold. It's designed to work without middlemen, which means you can send it directly to someone else without needing any permission from a bank. This idea of this peer-to-peer money is what makes Bitcoin so unique. Okay, so now that we know a little of what Bitcoin is, let's talk about how these transactions actually work. When you send Bitcoin to someone, you're creating a digital transaction. But instead of being sent and processed to a bank, Bitcoin transactions instead are verified by a network of computers all around the globe. Here's how it works. When you hit send on a Bitcoin transaction, it gets broadcasted to the entire Bitcoin network. Thousands of computers, we call them nodes, but thousands of computers, which we call nodes, they see the transaction and then they start verifying it to make sure everything checks out and is legit. These nodes, they verify things like, do you have enough Bitcoin to make this transaction? Has your Bitcoin already been spent somewhere else? Keeps people from double spending their money. Once a transaction is then verified, it's added to a block, which a block is basically a group of transactions that is recorded on the Bitcoin blockchain. Think of a blockchain as a digital ledger or even a digital record book of every single transaction that has ever taken place on the Bitcoin network. And every time a new block of transactions is placed, it is linked to the previous transaction block, forming a chain of blocks, or if you will, a blockchain. So now who makes all this verification happen? That's where miners come in. And no, there's not any physical mining for Bitcoin. These are computers. Miners are people or groups or even now companies who use very powerful computers to help verify these transactions on the Bitcoin network. They do this by solving these complex math problems, which require a ton of computer processing power and energy. And then when a miner solves one of these math problems, they're the ones that get to add a new block to the blockchain. And in return, they earn some new Bitcoin. This is what the mining process is and how new Bitcoin is actually created. You should think of miners as the security guards for the Bitcoin network. They make sure every single transaction is legitimate, and for that hard work, they are rewarded with Bitcoin. This mining process protects the blockchain and helps to keep it secure by protecting the blockchain from things like double spending. And double spending is just the situation where someone might try to spend the same Bitcoin twice. And thanks to miners, that cannot happen. Now you might be wondering, okay, so what gives Bitcoin all its value? Like after all, it's just some fancy digital code, right? Let me tell you, Bitcoin is valuable for several different reasons. One of the most important parts is the fact that it has a limited supply. Bitcoin has a hard cap at 21 million Bitcoins. This limit creates scarcity, similar to gold, which increases in value over time. As more people want Bitcoin, its limited supply will cause price to go through the roof. To the moon, baby. And that is why it is such a great hedge against inflation. Whereas our dollar is getting printed into oblivion, Bitcoin will never exceed 21 million coins. The second thing that makes Bitcoin so special and not just a piece of code is the decentralization. No single government or organization controls or will ever control Bitcoin. This decentralization means Bitcoin can be used globally, anywhere in the world, without interference, without manipulation, without any input whatsoever by any single entity except the sender. And then third, the security and trust. Thanks to this blockchain technology that we talked about, Bitcoin is secure and trustworthy. Transactions cannot be reversed or altered once they're on the blockchain, which is a huge and massive appeal for those wanting a secure and reliable form of money. Listen, Bitcoin's value is driven by its scarcity and independence from traditional banks, all while having the security of the blockchain. This is why people consider it to be digital gold. It is the best store of value you could ever have. So with all this value and global reach, how does Bitcoin really stay secure? Security is such a huge part of what makes Bitcoin work, and the blockchain is central to this. Number one being transparency. Every transaction on the Bitcoin network is public. This transparency helps to keep things honest. I'm looking at you, Nancy Pelosi, all right? Anyone can see the actual transaction history, but no one can see your personal information. Then we also have decentralized verification. Remember the miners we talked about? Because there are thousands of miners across the world verifying transactions, it is next to impossible for anyone to alter the blockchain. Changing one block would require changing every single block that came after it, which is next to impossible. And we have encryption. Bitcoin transactions use strong encryption techniques to secure your wallets and to protect transactions. When you own Bitcoin, it is stored and secure in a wallet protected by your private key, which is basically a 12 to 24 word password that only you know. And these layers of security make Bitcoin extremely hard to try to attack or manipulate, giving users confidence in the Bitcoin network. Bitcoin is more than just a digital currency. It represents a complete paradigm shift in how we think about money. It's such a game changer for multiple reasons. We have financial freedom. Like we talked about with Bitcoin, you're in control of your own money, no need for banks, institutions, or middlemen. You have global reach. Bitcoin is a borderless currency. You can send it anywhere in the world, anytime, without needing approval from anyone. And for people with a ton of money, what other currency you're gonna be able to travel country to country? You can't bring gold on an airplane. You can't bring any of that shit on an airplane. They're gonna stop you at the airport. But if you know your 12-word seed phrase in your head, you can cross the border with as much money as you want. And one of the most important reasons, protection against inflation. Because Bitcoin has a limited supply, it's seen as this ultimate hedge against inflation. Our current traditional currencies like the US dollar, which can be printed endlessly into oblivion. Money printer go burr. They print more money every freaking day. All this shit, it's all useless. Bitcoin is real. They print more of this every day. Every time you get a loan, they just make more fucking money. They just create it out of thin air. It's a game of infinite money. None of this shit is real. Whereas Bitcoin is finite and its scarcity makes it a store of value. If you take anything away from this video, Bitcoin matters because Bitcoin is empowering millions of people around the world. If this video is helping you understand Bitcoin and how it works, please hit that like button and subscribe for more crypto guides and insights. All right. To sum up Bitcoin, Bitcoin is a digital currency that operates without banks or governments, thanks to our favorite blockchain technology. When you send Bitcoin, your transaction is verified by miners, and then that transaction is stored on the blockchain, which is a public ledger that is almost impossible to hack or alter. Bitcoin's value comes from its scarcity, security, and independence from traditional financial systems. Bitcoin is a powerful tool for financial freedom and security, and it's only getting more popular. We just hit $89,000 of Bitcoin today. We flipped silver by market cap. There are 7 assets worth more than Bitcoin, and I guarantee you, Bitcoin is gonna take them out one by one. Bitcoin is only getting more popular and becoming more mainstream. Whether you're new to crypto or you've been here a couple cycles now, understanding how Bitcoin works gives you a glimpse into the future of finance. Guys, thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe for more crypto content and guides, and make sure to hit that bell to stay updated. Bitcoin is just the beginning. If you're ready to learn more, stick with me, and we'll explore this new frontier of digital finance together. See you soon, guys. Girls get loose when they hear the song. 100 on the dash, get me close to God. We don't pray for love, we just pray for cause.